Hi everyone, welcome to The Last Word, the final wrap-up of an absolutely shocking performance by Newcastle once again. Yeah, everyone, welcome to The Last Word. We're going to be hearing from Jonny very shortly on Newcastle's lack of adventures going forward and how long can that go on before it catches up. So more on Jonny in a second. But this is The Last Words, the most in-depth video where we look at the game and we'll also grab a few clips from reaction. Probably not that you want to hear that. But if you can please like it, because this is difficult to do on performances like that. Like the video, that'll be absolutely marvellous. Thank you very much. So let's crack on with it. Let's get in with it. Let's talk about the game in a sec, but let's have a look at the lineup. So Newcastle were dealt with a massive blow that there was no Callum Wilson. Matt Ritchie's soon to return. Dubravka is probably another month away. Dummett obviously can't make it. So we've got a few injuries coming back as well, but Matt Ritchie's close. But it was fantastic to see Isaac Hayden back in that Newcastle side, but Bruce decided to go with the wing backs once again. I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's just not the way forward for Newcastle because you can't get the best out of your attacking players. It's as simple as that. There's a lot of people, in particular saint-maximin, who isn't performing. Yes, he was much brighter today, but in general this formation doesn't suit him. Joe Litton obviously up top, but I would prefer to say Andy Carroll. But if you take Callum Wilson outside, we're struggling. And, you know, it would be handy to have Dwight Gale about in the minute, and he can't be too far away either because he's in training. But on the other hand, let's have a look at Chelsea's lineup. A lot of their players, in fact, I think every single one of them was away on international duty. An early kick-off on Saturday, thought could they be a bit, rusty, a bit tired from travelling all over the place, but nah, there wasn't. They've got quality left, right and centre, and it's difficult to deal with quality. And Chelsea thoroughly deserved their win today, and that lineup's very, very strong. I thought it might be a little bit weaker with all the travelling, but Lampard went with one of his strongest side, and it paid off, didn't it? Because Chelsea were, let's face it, the much better side throughout all of the 90. If you look at, obviously, the first half, they only went into the break 1-0 up, and the goal came very early on through an own goal through Federico Fernandez. But even before that goal, Darlow had to pull off a save, and even going before that, Timo Werner tested Darlow when he had a palm it wide for a corner. But the lead up to the goal, it was a short corner. You should be clearing it, not just Fernandez, the couple of bodies before him. It's a low drill corner. Fernandez is just unfortunate how it just hits off his body and goes in the back of the net. But if he doesn't score, maybe Chilwell might have. But we'll never know. We can speculate about that. But Newcastle are 1-0 down. And it's not what you want, especially when you're playing wing backs. And I generally feel that no crowd. Games like this, we suffer because you can imagine the last home game when we won for a last minute winner for Isaac Hayden against Chelsea. That crowd would have roared on. They would have twisted. They would have shouted, attack, 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 and would have booed. They would have basically let Steve Bruce know how they really felt. And I think we missed that a little bit today. And against the big teams, that comes in handy for it. But in all honesty, we didn't really create much in the first half, and Chelsea dominated the first half. I think we only had 19 or 21% possession going into half time. We had Joe Litton had a long distance, but we had a saint-maximin shot was deflected, but it was all Chelsea. And if Timo Werner had been a lot more clinical today, it could have been a lot more. But into the second half, and really Chelsea probably dominated up towards the 70th minute. Again, if Timo Werner 1-on-1 squares it, perhaps would have shot himself, but the goal came through. The goal is poor. The goal is awful because Newcastle are on the attack and they lose the ball, and Mankio's out of position, so that takes out your right wing back, and Werner just goes past Longstaff and Fernandez so easily, man. Didn't even take one for the team, a yellow card, nothing. He's breaking through and he finds, obviously, Tammy Abraham, who's now free. Great finish by Abraham, in off a post. Newcastle are 2-0 down. That's game over for me. I know Bruce tried to make a few changes by Almiron and Andy Carroll, and to be honest, the last 20 minutes we were better, but it's just not good enough. I've calmed down from the reaction video because that was literally 5 minutes after full time. If you haven't seen it, go back because I rant and rave about it, but I've calmed down. I'm not happy with it. It takes you 70 minutes to get it, start having shots and pepper the goal a little bit, and Longstaff hit the bar, and we're seeing Isaac Hayden was offside when he blazed over. I should have put that one away, even though he was off handball. Carroll had a shot. Almiron had a deflected shot. So the worst chance in the last 20 minutes, but it's just not good enough for Newcastle. It really, really isn't. It's the performances are getting us down. They're getting me angry, frustrated. I don't enjoy it. And we've got quality players, you've got to remember, and now a few of them are injured today, don't get me wrong. I'm not just talking about today in general, I'm talking about overall. You think about Almiron, Alan Saint-Maximin, you've got Fraser, you've got Wilson. I know 2 of them were not available today, but still, Newcastle have got enough going forward, and Shelby was on the bench today, didn't get off it. Maybe could have dealt with his creativity, but really, really disappointed, man. And Chelsea thoroughly deserved to go top temporarily after the full-time result, but they look really good. They'll finish quite easily top 4 without a shadow of a doubt, and maybe might win a domestic cup, who knows. But Werner's normally clinical, and like I say, it could have been a lot worse, and I wanted to get Jonny's thoughts on what he feels about this poor performances, because a lot of people now, even before this game, want Bruce out, and most of our NFTV team want him out, and that goes to show you that you can't go on like this. It's really poor. But here's Jonny anyways about how we're playing.
Thanks very much, Lee. Yeah, so first things first, in terms of pundits, unless you watch Newcastle regularly, and what I mean by regularly is at least a few games in a row before getting bored of it, then you won't be able to understand. 8%, 9% possession at times in the first half against Chelsea today. Is that what we deserve? Is that what any Premier League team deserves, not just Newcastle? Because that's infuriating. It's tough to watch. You take the first 2 minutes aside, Newcastle were woeful. They just didn't have a plan. Didn't have a plan, and that comes from the top, and that comes from Steve Bruce. These pundits need to look at the facts. They really need to look at the facts. Steve McMahon was on punditry duty for BT this afternoon. He's not a Newcastle fan. He's a Liverpool fan, obviously. And everything he was saying was bang on today about Newcastle. And I know he doesn't normally get it right, but he was bang on about Newcastle today. And they had no plan B. We ran out of ideas. We were so deep we were nearly in Gateshead. It was just ridiculous today. Look, in terms of pundits, Gary Agbonlahor, who was at Aston Villa under Steve Bruce for a very short spell, maybe has that loyalty towards him, but he doesn't probably watch Newcastle as much as what anybody else does. So take it with a pinch of salt. But how long can we keep this going for? I think Steve Bruce has got the next 5 games. You look at the next 5 games: Palace, Villa away, and then we've got Fulham at home, Leeds away, and West Brom at home. You need to be getting a good return from that, Steve Bruce, because you'll not be in a job much longer otherwise. It's going to be tough. He needs a minimum 9 points from those 5 games, and I think that has to be the minimum. And I think if he doesn't, then I think it might be a big decision coming from Mike Ashley and Lee Charnley. But that's just my thoughts. Get your thoughts in as well. I'll give you back to Lee.
Alright, cheers, Jonny. So we're a bit down in the dumps, aren't we? You would have seen the previous videos as well. There's a lot of anger and hate towards the management, and it might go above that, and you might want to look at Mike Ashley throughout the years, and we should be better off because we should have new ownerships with the Premier League not allowing it and what have you. But we can do much better. We can do much better, and there's managers out there who can get better the most out of this team. Yes, we're not expecting to be Champions League football, what Mark Lawrenson stupidly thinks, but we want to compete. We want to be proud of the team. Even when we get beat, you can, you know what, I didn't mind that. I didn't mind getting beat. I'm proud to be a Newcastle fan. But this season and last season, and don't get me wrong, some parts of Rafa as well, it's not great to watch, but it's even worse. It feels like a bit like McLaren era, where it was just hostile and, can you imagine the crowd were there the day and we didn't attack. But yeah, let's get a bit of reaction there. Because of copyright reasons, we can't play video.
Look, the problem that you get off to an awful start like we did against a very good Chelsea team, and unfortunately we went far too deep in the first half in particular. Second half we went higher up the pitch, and we were better, and then probably were best part of the game. Unfortunately, we conceded the second one, but we had some moments in the game, especially second half, where against the big teams in particular, you need to go and take one of them opportunities, and unfortunately we didn't manage to do it. And it has, one of the reasons why we bought him was to add some goals to us, which he's obviously done. And we've got 2 or 3 getting back to help us along that situation. And obviously Callum being one of them. I couldn't risk him today because of the threat of a hamstring and being missing for the next 6 weeks. So we've erred on caution. We hope that he's going to be okay for next week.
Right, that is it. That is a wrap. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage on NFTV Extra, which I was a part of. Preview all the way through, 3 hours stream with Carl, Adam, Sam popped on as well. We're just trialing that to see how we can bring that across to the main channel eventually. And hopefully you've seen all the videos. Go back and watch them. Like I say, give the video a like. It does help. But roll on Crystal Palace Friday night, live on Amazon. Tell everyone which way it's a day. Bye bye.